You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's Vegas, it's rock, it's dogs, it's Vegas Rock Dog Radio, a rock and roll show all about pets, people, and pop culture. Stand by for great guests and cool advice, all in one rocking hour. The phone lines are open at 702-483-4444. That's 702-483-4444. Now, let's bring on the host. Here is the rock and roll queen of dogs, Sam.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs, and you are listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. It's a rock and roll show all about pets, people, and pop culture. I'm live from Las Vegas, and we're going to have a great show today. We're going to do a little test. Joan, if you're listening in, Joan's our guest. We just want to make sure that we're connected to you for our Skype interview. Are you there, Joan?
Yes, I'm here. Sam.
Oh, yay! I'm so excited. You have no idea. Well, just stay on the line. Don't do anything, because I've got a little bit of what we call, what do you call it? Yeah, something. Just hang on there. Don't do anything. Just don't do anything right now. So if you're listening in for the first time on the show, it's very easy to connect with us online, and this is how you can do it. We're on Periscope at Vegas Rock Dog. Our website is vegasrockdogradio.com. Our Facebook is Vegas Rock Dog Radio, and our Twitter account is Vegas Rock Dog Show. No W at the end. Our Instagram is Vegas Rock Dog, and if you want to pick up some rock and roll clothing for you and your pets, then you'll go to vegasrockdog.com. Our blog is getting very, very popular. It's the rockandrolldog.com. That's where we do tons of reviews, honest reviews about products, about pet food. We always put our radio guests back up there again for the instant replays and let you know who's coming on the following week. Giveaways, we do tons of giveaways too, and basically tons of pictures of my pets because that's how I roll these days. But it's a popular blog. It's really easy to read and follow and find stuff on there. So, and all the archive shows are up there too. So that's our blog. If you want to follow me on Google Plus, you'll find me at Sam Ratcliffe, or you just look for the show name. And finally, we do have an app, and our app, you go to yapp.us, yapp.us, and you'll just download the free app from the iTunes store, and then you will actually download our show, Vegas Rock Dog Radio. So that's my, what do they call it? Not house clean. What do they call it, Jim?
Upfront stuff.
No!
I don't know.
A word for it. And I can't think, because I was awake till 4 o'clock this morning because someone was snoring, and that would be my husband, Jim, who's right next to me. You want to say hello, Jim?
Hello, and why did I have to be woken up to be told I was snoring? I was soundly asleep.
You know, that you can only lay for so many hours listening to that, before, I'll be on the front page of the newspaper one day, having suffocated you with a pillow.
Really? I'm glad that's out there now. Everybody take note.
It gets you
in case I go missing.
Jim, it gets you to that point. It really does. The snoring takes you there. And it's not, and you've got to be careful with a Yorkshire
Joan, I'm
girl.
counting on you to remember that.
You've got to watch a Yorkshire girl, they don't mess around. So, Joan, you're there.
I'm here.
Yes. I can't even tell you. I get very excited about all my guests, but I'm extra excited about you being on the show today. And I know it took us a bit of back and forth, but we've made it. Is this your first Skype interview that you've ever done?
It definitely is. This is all foreign technology to me, believe me.
It's a lot, isn't it? And it's hard, when we can't pick up a phone and say, hey, this is what you're going to do. You'll download this. I mean, we've done all this through email. So we've finally done it. I've been so excited about this show because, one, of course, I'm still super connected with back home. I'm actually from Sheffield originally, and we were just back there in June. Jim and I were renewing our wedding vows. But I like to stay very connected back home and what's going on in animal welfare. And then your story popped up. And first of all, I'm like, she looks like such a nice person.
Only to the friends.
I was like, what was it the Dowager said on Downton Abbey? someone can't be nice all the time. I thought
That's very true.
It is, isn't it? You know, because people always say that, they're so nice all the time when I see them. I'm like, yeah, you see them for a nanosecond, you know. There's a lot more to people than just being nice, you know. But I don't know how I came across your story. I mean, I think it was probably, I don't know, you've been in a lot of newspapers, haven't you? Been on was it the Daily Mail website you might have been on? And I think that's how I saw your story. And I thought, this is amazing because, of course, I work with a lot of animal rescues and it's mainly cats and dogs. So to see someone who's doing something for wildlife, it just piqued my interest because I'm sure there are not millions of people who have hedgehog rescues. And I thought would be a great story. I'm going to reach out and I'm going to get hold of Joan and we're going to try and get her on this show. So I'm absolutely thrilled that you're here. Now, you're with a friend right now, aren't you?
No, she's gone.
Oh, she left you?
It's bonfire season, bonfire night.
That's right.
She's gone to a bonfire to watch fireworks go off.
You know, we just had, well, for some reason, we obviously don't have bonfire night here, but we had fireworks going off this week. I have no idea why. It makes no sense to me. My dogs absolutely hate it. You know, it's horrible.
I do.
Oh, well, anyway, for anyone that's listening, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Joan. Joan Lockley is the founder of the West Midlands I can't even speak now, Hedgehog Rescue. And what I loved and I thought was really adorable was that you have a hosprickal for hedgehogs.
Yes.
I just think it's the cutest. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's just the cutest name for a hosprickal. It made me feel like, oh, you know that place is magical because it's a hosprickal, you know. So the website, did I write the website down? What is your website?
Oh gosh, now you've asked me.
I'll have Jim do it. Jim's my researcher right next door to me.
I'll find it out.
So you find that for me, Jim, because I know we looked at it last week. Because I want people to know where you are online. What's the name of the Facebook page? It's the Friends of the West Midlands Hedgehog Rescue. Is that correct?
Yes, Friends of West Midlands Hedgehog Rescue, yes.
Wonderful, because as we're speaking and doing the show, all these links are popping up on our Facebook page. So no one has to grab a pen. They can just go to my Facebook page and then they'll be able to find yours and your website. And Jim's going to find the website. Have you got it, Jim? Always getting there. I like him to be faster than that. So what I was reading about you, have you got it, Jim?
It's the www.wmhr.org.uk.
Perfect.
Correct.
And we'll make sure that keeps going up on our website, on our Facebook page, and I'll probably do like a little follow-up article on our blog about you as well, because I know people were very, very interested about what you were doing with hedgehogs. So the story that I saw was that you'd recently received an award from the International Fund for Animal Welfare, and I saw you right next to Bill Oddie.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Just that in itself's wonderful, isn't it? You're with a goodie. And he is a goodie. So tell us what you actually got the award for.
I'm not quite sure myself, quite honestly. You know, it's just been a whirlwind. It's something to do with, rescuing, helping wildlife.
And recognising your work with hedgehogs.
Yes.
When did you start working with hedgehogs? How did this all happen? Because I loved to hear the stories of what sparks, a rescue, becoming something really important.
Yeah, it started about 15 years ago. I was sitting in the conservatory and I noticed a very small hedgehog, what we call an autumn juvenile or an autumn orphan. You see, the mothers have another litter late in the autumn. Oh. And these are not going to survive because hedgehogs need to be at least 600 grams to get through the winter. And these little orphans don't stand a chance. So
you see, I've already learned
this little one.
I've already learned something already now from you. I knew we would because I don't know a ton about hedgehogs. So they've got to be 600 grams and over in order to survive through the bad
hibernation.
Weather. Right.
Hibernation. The heavier the better. The fatter the better.
Now, what? If you saw that hedgehog in your garden, like you say, it's little, it's struggling, what causes that? Just the fact that they have a late litter? and they don't grow big enough?
But also if they're sick.
Okay.
The golden rule is you should never see a hedgehog out in the day.
Okay.
Hedgehogs are nocturnal and you should never see them out in the day. If you do see them out in the day, they're either sick, they're injured, or they're orphaned.
So you know there's a problem if you see them out in the daytime.
Yes.
So that's when you should act. What's the best thing people should do should they come across a hedgehog like you did? And that was your first one, the baby one that you found. And then
yes, it was okay when I saw him because it was late at night.
Right.
But the next morning it was out in the day. And although I knew nothing at all about hedgehogs, I did know they were nocturnal and they shouldn't be seen out in the day.
I see.
That's when they need help.
Wow. So then what did you do with this hedgehog? Did you name him? Her? Was it a girl?
Don't laugh. Spike.
Makes sense. Makes total sense to me.
Yes,
so you got
not very original.
So you got little Spike, and how old do you reckon? Do you reckon he was fairly newborn?
Yeah, no, he wasn't newborn.
Okay.
I think he was about 6 weeks old, 7, 8 weeks old, that's all. But I just threw a towel over him. This is what anybody should do if they see them in the daytime.
Yeah.
Throw a towel over them, pick them up, put them in a high-sided box. They don't bite.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, and they haven't got fleas anymore. Very few of them have fleas now.
I see. Because I know some people would go, oh, I don't want to touch it, you know. And I mean, I would, because Jim and we've just saved a little bird not long ago. You know, we picked up in a towel, you know, so that his mother didn't reject it with any of our scent on it, you know. And luckily it did survive. But I think it is important to know what to do, because I think some people, like the baby bird, think, oh, I'll bring it in the house, and it's the worst thing that they could do.
Yes,
you know, not knowing. So that's why I was really, really excited about this show, because I know people. I've never seen a hedgehog here in Vegas, ever. You know, I think you obviously have them back where you're from. Yeah, Jim.
No, we have moles, which is a close relative to the hedgehog. As Joan, I'm sure, can attest.
Get you. But yeah, we've not seen any out here. So I'm obviously we have a worldwide listenership. We have tons of people listen from all over the world. So there are obviously people listening that have hedgehogs in their area, and I think it is important. So is it best to pick them up with a towel, or what's the best?
Yes, or gardening gloves.
Oh, okay.
The only reason you do that is to stop it hurting your hands, because as soon as you touch him, he's going to curl up in a tight ball, and all of those prickles will come up. They're very, very sharp.
And that's for their protection,
and
isn't it?
And that is for protection, yes. As I said, they're not aggressive.
So what did you do next then? So you've got Spike. You've got Spike. And you're like, I'm going to help this little Spike. You know?
I like the name Branston better.
Branston pickle. You know, I could just have a cheese and Branston pickle sandwich right now.
Branston prickle. Velcro's a good one as well.
Oh, that's good too. Oh, that is so great. They're just cute looking. They deserve a cute name, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord, that is so funny.
This isn't very serious, is it?
Oh, let me tell you something, Joan. I laugh on every single show. Every single show. I'll send you a link to my poo show, the great poo show that we did. I mean, I said to Jim, it's not a very British thing to speak about, but your pet's poo is quite important. You know, it is one of the best shows that we ever had. We laughed all the way through that too.
Yeah, it is very, very important with hedgehogs as well, because when I've got them in the hutch, in the hosprickal, this is how you can tell whether they're sick or not, you know, by the poo.
What are you looking for? What's a healthy looking poo going to look like?
Out in the garden, it should be firm and black, and it should have little black shiny bits in. Those little shiny black bits are the wings of beetles that they've eaten.
That's fascinating. That's absolutely fascinating. What I actually don't know what a hedgehog eats. What do they eat?
Beetles.
Well, they're called the gardener's friend because they eat everything that comes under their nose. They eat the slugs, the snails, the beetles, the worms, anything at all. I mean, if they came across a dead bird, they'd eat that as well.
Really? So they don't really have a discerning palate. They just eat.
No. But this is why we've got. I don't know what it's like where you live, but over here we're overrun with slugs and snails, and this is because we're losing the hedgehogs. The hedgehogs are now facing extinction in this country.
Why is that, Joan? Why is that happening?
Mainly loss of habitat.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're vastly overcrowded and we're building more housing estates, more supermarkets, more roads, and the farmers have taken up, 300,000 miles of hedgerows to make the bigger fields.
Oh my goodness.
So you can get faster food production, so it'll be cheaper. So we're taking away the habitat. That's the main reason.
That's really tragic. We're having a similar thing here because we're right up by the mountains. So we've got coyotes out here and we've seen them on our driveway and on our road.
Oh, wow.
Well, the ecosystem here, Joan, because it's high desert, as soon as you disturb the top layer of soil, which has taken hundreds and thousands of years for plants to develop, it never comes back for hundreds of years.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why they always say out here, and it's for nature in general, don't take anything from nature, leave it just as you found it, because especially in the desert, I mean, it takes a plant a lot to survive out here. And if it's there, leave it be. It's done a lot of work to survive, and that's why
I've always said that, Sam. You mess with nature, she will fight back.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, it's just nature's so beautiful, and why anyone would want to destroy it. That we had recently, we have some are they petroglyphs, Jim?
The vandalism.
Yeah, like the like the
ancient carvings.
Yeah, like the hieroglyphics, but the petroglyphs, same thing, ancient and they'd spray painted on them, hadn't they? Some vandals.
No.
And isn't that disgusting? And then what about the guy? There was a guy up in Utah. What is the Thingy Monument up there? And there's been a big giant rock on there, and he pushed it.
Yeah.
It's been there forever, and he's pushed it over the cliff. And
there's no accounting for people's indiscretions, is there, Joan? Especially when it comes to the care of animals.
They're just idiots.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
are.
I'm very outspoken when
me too. I love you, Joan, already.
Joan, where I come from Western Pennsylvania, where the landscape is quite similar to the Midlands in England. Rolling hillsides and forests and farms, and the same thing is happening with overdevelopment and then family farms giving way to large farms. And unfortunately, where I'm from, the hedgehog's cousin, the mole, is considered a rodent and vermin, and there's no protections for small mammal creatures.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they have quite a wildlife management system in Pennsylvania where they do manage game and wildlife, but still, I think there's no accounting for people's indiscretions or ignorance when it comes to animal welfare and just leaving things be. They don't want a mole digging up their yard and creating tracks in the dirt, so they get rid of them.
Yeah.
It's terrible, isn't it? Because like you say, that's their habitat and we've pushed them out, and I don't know. I don't know. I think people kind of select the animals that they're interested in. We did a show with a very interesting article about why certain animals are more popular than others, and it's literally based on how they look. Is that the craziest thing? Like, if it's ugly, they're like, oh, I hate it, it's horrible. So spiders and bugs are really low on the list.
If they're large and they have human-like eyes, people revere them more. And if they're smaller,
majestic, like elephants and stuff like that, so people are more drawn to them, which is kind of pathetic, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, we've said this about the giant panda. Look at the performance they were trying to save the giant panda. I know. And they said if it was an ugly little spider, as you said, would we go to so much trouble to try and save it?
Yeah, it seems so shallow,
Joan,
doesn't it?
Do you get? Do you communicate with Brian May, the famous musician from the rock band Queen, who's very large part of the badger
We love
rescue.
Joan. We love him.
Oh, he's fantastic.
He's brought to light these smaller creatures that need protecting, hasn't he?
Well, especially
He's wonderful. He's wonderful.
Bill Oddie. What kind of animals is he mainly interested in? What's his big
Birds.
He's a bird
Birds.
guy. I didn't know that. Oh, you know what? Mike says we need to take a quick break, Joan. So hang on there. Don't do anything. You'll hear some
Okay.
commercials. We'll be right back. 'Cause I've got tons more questions for you.
Okay.
We're going to be right back. Listen to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the queen of rock and roll dogs. We'll be right back.
Nature at its best is nature at its simplest. At Red Barn, we've kept it simple for 20 years by concentrating on single-ingredient natural dog treats. Because Mother Nature's actually pretty good at this. Bones are just tasty bones. Meat treats are just nourishing meat. It's nature at its simplest. Look at the label. We want you to. Red Barn Natural Treats. Simply the best. Find it in your local pet specialty store. Try our slow-roasted, natural meaty bones.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Now, let's return to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Here again, your host, the rock and roll queen of dogs, Sam.
And we're back. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, and the queen of rock and roll dogs. The king of rock and roll dogs is next to me. He's actually the king of snoring. And before the break, we were talking to Joan Lockley. She's the founder of the West Midlands Hedgehog Rescue in England. And I'm thrilled to have her on the show because she won this great award, the International Fund for Animal Welfare. And part of that, which I love, is that I became aware of Joan, and a million other people will have. I want to say that Daily Mail piece that I read, I think it had over 2.5 million hits on it, which is an insane amount of hits. Now, Joan, have you had a big interest since your award and all this press you've been doing? Have you had a lot more people be in touch with you?
Yes, mainly asking for advice.
Yeah.
Because it's coming up to the time now, well, some are already hibernating. People want to know about hibernation. Should they still be feeding the hedgehogs? Yes. Please keep feeding the hedgehogs. As I said earlier, the bigger, the fatter, the better.
And what should they be feeding them? What's the best for them?
I feed them cat food.
Oh, okay. I had no idea they'd be. Well, you say they'll eat anything pretty much, but cat food works well for them.
Yeah, preferably, I always tell people if they're going to feed them in the garden, obviously they won't be feeding them indoors, will they? That's illegal for them. As you know, you can't entrap a wild animal.
That's right.
So you're feeding them outdoors, full stop. I always say use the dried cat food, the cat biscuits.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have them over there?
Yeah, really, really easy then to get that, and it's not expensive either. So that's easy to do, isn't it? And what do they drink? Do they drink water only? Yeah.
Oh yes, don't give them milk. You should never give hedgehogs cow's milk.
Okay. Because
they can't digest the lactose in it.
It's too difficult for them. So you find a hedgehog, you're going to put it in a box that's got high sides. Obviously, it can't climb out. Because I don't think people think that they can climb out,
Oh, hedgehogs can climb.
It's amazing.
Yeah, they are escape artists. You can't keep a hedgehog in. Believe me.
It's good to know that you're feeding them your cat food, you're giving them water, and you've got to continue feeding them through hibernation period. Correct?
I would, even if you think he's gone into hibernation, this isn't for me we're talking about now, is it? We're talking about the general public and hedgehogs in the gardens. Yes. Keep some food out just in case, because they do tend to wake up in warm weather or a mild winter. Then they come out, they're looking for food that isn't there yet, and they're burning off that fat that they've stored.
Right.
To get them through hibernation. Then when the weather turns cold again, they will go back into hibernation. They've used that fat up, and then they will starve.
Yeah, that's, oh gosh, and like you say, just simply leaving the food out just in case actually will help them survive,
Yes.
So that's really, really vital. So when you had Spike and you were looking after Spike, how long was it before he was nursed back to health and be able to go on his merry way?
Well, this was in the autumn. He turned out to be what we call an autumn orphan, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
So I kept him overnight, and then over the next night until I found an expert. The same as me, a hedgehog carer. And then I asked her advice. She was going to take the hedgehog off me. I said, couldn't I do it? And that was it.
That was the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. Sometimes.
Because I read that you've saved over 5,000 hedgehogs. I think that's a lot.
I've taken in about 5,000 hedgehogs.
That's incredible. I mean, and is it true that you work 19 hours a day?
Oh, gosh, yes, definitely.
So you don't sleep much either.
I think I should hibernate. It'd be a good idea.
It's a great idea. Do you ever go on holiday? Do you ever feel like you can take time off? Do you have someone who can be your backup?
Yeah, I did go. I mean, it's no distance to you at all. To me, it is 100 mile. I went down to Somerset.
Oh,
and stayed in a friend's caravan.
Oh, how nice.
One of these big ones. But it just wasn't worth it, Sam. The phone never stopped. Gosh. It just kept on. People had found injured hedgehogs, sick hedgehogs, and I couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
So it isn't worth it.
Oh, now
Are you looking for a protege, or do you have people that are interested in taking on the responsibility?
Yes, they do. But the trouble is, when it comes to the dirty part of it, cleaning them out, and they don't stay long.
Their poops a little.
It smells a lot.
Oh, can't they put that? Can't they put Vicks under their nose?
You need to get your niece Shelley involved with Joan.
I should. My niece loves all animals. She's got horses, got dogs. I mean, the whole family's like that. And she loves guinea pigs, and I'm sure she loves hedgehogs too. I'm going to talk to Shelley about that. But you know what? It is the case here with rescues as well. They love the fun parts, taking them to adoption events and that kind of thing. But when it actually comes to, like you said, the dirty work, those volunteers soon disappear, And for me, I mean, if I actually volunteer for anything, I am 100% there. And I think people should follow through on that. I think sometimes when people just think, I'm not getting paid, I don't have to do a good job. I'm like, no, this is about your character. Commit to it, even if their poop smells. At least it's sparkly. It's sparkly to look at.
Yeah. I've got a group of people, friends, who will go out and pick up hedgehogs for me, because if I'm hand feeding the babies, you have to feed them with a syringe about every 2 hours.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, if you think that, not this year that's just gone, the year before I had 17 baby hedgehogs to feed every 2 hours. Yeah.
That's like having a baby.
And then on top of that, going out collecting hedgehogs, keeping the records, going to the vets every day.
Goodness me.
It is time consuming.
Gosh, that really is. You could do with a vet that comes to you, really, couldn't you? That would make your life a little bit easier.
It's lucky I get on very well with my vet.
That's good, though, because obviously, like you say, his phone's going to keep ringing whenever your phone keeps ringing. Now, your hosprickal, how is your hosprickal set up? How is it set up?
You can't keep hedgehogs together unless they're siblings.
Oh, wow.
So each one has to have an individual cage. So it's all fitted in with individual cages.
I see.
An electricity point, for heat pads.
Now, do they just not get on unless, like you say, they come from the same little family?
If you have the very small ones from different families, you can try them together. But, they just stress one another out. They hiss and push each other. And in the finish, one will die of stress. So they're like tigers. They're solitary. They're solitary animals.
Oh, my gosh. I had no idea. So like you say, your whole point of the hosprickal is to get them well, and stress is not going to be on their side, when it comes to their health. Oh, my gosh. Now, how many hedgehogs can you have in the hosprickal at once?
Well, I can have about 36, but the year before last I had 61.
Oh my gosh, Joan.
So they were in the dining room, they were in the living room, they were in the hall.
You deserve that award.
I didn't get many visitors, Sam. said to them, I said, I've got a Yankee candle burning here. They said, one isn't enough.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. You know what? I swear, you deserve that award and more for that alone, because clearly you're not turning them away. You know, I mean, you couldn't, could you? I mean, your soul couldn't take that. I mean, that's just not right, is it? But
we're going to visit Joan next time we go
Joan,
over.
we want to come and visit you next time we come home. We want to
Please do.
Yeah, we do. Honestly, we could. You know what we could do? We could do a show from the Hosprickal. We could do a show live back here with you.
Good.
We did a show. We did 2 shows actually when we were back in June. But we did it from my twin sister's living room. I've got 4 sisters, and my mad mother was there too. She came over from Spain. Oh, yeah. Joan, it was like trying to wrangle a basket of kittens or 61 hedgehogs. It was actually one of the most craziest shows we've ever done, but a lot of fun. But we'll definitely do that, because I definitely want to come down and see what you're doing, and just let more people know, you know, that this is important. And it sounds to me like, you know, that you can do some really simple things to help them. I did see, because I've read everything on your website, by the way. I've looked through every picture on your Facebook. I mean, I've been a bit of a stalker, really. I just took a big interest in it. But you can build a little feeding station for them, can't you?
Well, you can. You're best to, because you will encourage the cats and the foxes. You know, if you're putting out cat food, you're going to get the neighbours' cats in. But did you read how to do it?
Yes, because it looked like house bricks, and it was like it was built in a way that a cat couldn't reach in, you know, and obviously get the food or the hedgehog that's in there, you know.
It's just a tunnel made with building bricks, about 5.5 inches square. Put something really heavy on top, like slabs. Yeah. And then if you put the food in the middle underneath, I've seen the cats lie on the side and try and get at it, but they can't.
They're persistent, aren't they, those cats?
Oh, very persistent, yeah.
And that was one thing. And then the other thing that I thought was interesting, of course, we're not near any water, Jim and I, where we live, but, you know, back home, you've got ponds and you've got streams nearby and that kind of thing. But they like to, obviously, they're out at night and they like to go and drink from these water sources. And I read that you could put make a little ramp, or you can put some plant pots in there so they can climb on them to get out of water if they happen to fall in. Do many of them drown?
If they can't get out, they will.
They will. So
they will drown. They do need an escape route of some kind, either, as you said, you know, make a slope in the pond so they can climb out, or something they can clamber onto.
Yeah, because wouldn't that be tragic to, you know,
oh gosh,
fall
yes.
in and not
I've
get
heard
out.
Stories of finding mums with the babies with them drowned.
Oh my gosh, that's really sad. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I say these are things that don't cost any money. They're really cheap. And like I say, if you're near water, you can do that. You know, if you've got them in your garden, then you can put them in a nice little feeding station out. Just simple things, but like you say, it helps them survive, particularly when they're born at this time of year and maybe a little bit underweight. So that's what I loved. I thought that what I really liked about the website was it's so encouraging, your website, which is basically call us, you know, we'll give you the right information and we'll help you out, you know. And I thought that was wonderful, because when I work with a lot of animal rescues, but sometimes I look on their website, I can't find their number. They're not really encouraging me, to call them or get hold of them, or they don't pick up the phone, or they don't reply to emails. It's so common. It drives me insane. And
Samantha, I can't believe what I'm hearing.
I know.
We've got exactly the same problem
here. My gosh, I don't get it.
I can give 5 phone numbers to one person, 5 phone numbers of 5 carers to one person who's got a sick and injured hedgehog. And I can look at the time, give them half an hour, they ring back and say, none of those numbers is answering the phone.
It's not right. It's not.
It's bad.
I think
it's really bad.
When you commit, and the thing is, rescues are the lifeline for the animal and the person that either found the animal, or sometimes they want to surrender an animal. You know what I mean? That is
Yes.
the whole goal is to help. And if you can't get the communication right, what's the point? You know, it drives me crazy. I hear the excuse all the time, but we're volunteers. I don't care. You committed to do something, which is to help, and help is not kind of on your watch, really, when you're a volunteer. You know, it's so easy to reply to an email, a tweet, a Facebook post. It's so easy, because here's the thing. I sometimes contact people and then I see them on Facebook and they still haven't got back to me, but they're posting away on Facebook. And I'm like, you're everybody looks at their phones 100 times a day, at least. Probably 200, really, you know. So I find it a very, very poor excuse. And I say, you're the lifeline. And I've had people contact me and say, oh my gosh, I tried to get hold of that rescue. No one's calling me back. I'm panicked. I'm freaking out. I've just found this dog. It was hit, you know. I need to get help from the rescue, you know, but no one's calling me back, you know. And it's just it's a bad reputation to have.
I know.
It's not good.
But the trouble is, they'll say it's okay for you. You're on your own. You know, we've got families and we've got this.
How rude!
But why do it?
That's so exactly. Don't commit. Don't do anything. You know.
Yes.
Or say, you know what? I'll commit for a month. Let me see if I can make this work. You know, and if you can't, then bow out gracefully. You know. But I can't stand that. No one wants to go to a volunteer and say, we don't need you anymore because you're useless. You know.
You know, Joan, the pastor at my church growing up in Pennsylvania used to call a certain personality types Easter lilies,
right?
Because they only come out at certain times just to serve their own sense of responsibility, and then they disappear. When they should be responsible all the time, they only come out just at Easter time, just to make sure that they've saved their place in heaven.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. And as somebody said to me, mentioning no names, a lot of these carers wear it as a badge.
Yeah, and they shouldn't. They really.
And they say, you know, I rescue animals.
Yeah.
When they do it when they feel like it.
Yeah, they can't. We call it that kind of like that God complex, and it doesn't.
Yes.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help.
No.
I mean, like you, Joan, I'm saying to you, you know, tell me about this award, and you're like, well, I kind of think it's this, because for you, I know already from you, Joan, you're not out about getting awards. That's not your thing. You know what I mean? It's lovely to get them, and it's lovely to have a thank you and some recognition, because it obviously ultimately helps your rescue, you know, get some exposure. But there are those, you know, we get it all the time.
Well, and you don't need to be a landholder. You don't need a lot of space to rescue hedgehogs.
No, your garden.
In your garden, or maybe a mudroom in your house, or a small section of home. It's not like you have to have kennels and large expanses of land.
It's not like you have to go out and walk them and groom them and take them to an adoption event. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
I'll tell you one, it keeps unwanted visitors away if you've got them in the house.
Jim, we need a hedgehog.
Well, we already have Mr. Twix for that.
Oh my God, Joan! I named all my dogs after chocolate. Yeah, because we like our chocolate, don't we, as Brits? So I've got Galaxy, and I've got Thornton, as in Thornton's Continentals, and I've got Mr. Twix. So that's my little British theme for them, all their British chocolates and stuff. But I don't think Mr. Twix would like a hedgehog. We had a snake in the house, Joan, last year.
Oh no!
That came in my house. I was watching TV. He was jumping around like a little maniac, and I thought, "Gosh, what is he jumping around at?" And I saw this snake about 18 inches long, and no one wanted to leave it alone. They all wanted to play with it. So I had a nightmare throwing him in a bedroom. Jim was playing a gig. Jim's a musician, so he couldn't help because he was playing a saxophone. And
that's why it was jumping about.
It was scary. It was really scary. So when I'd thrown him in the room and I came back, the snake wasn't there, but I knew it was in the house.
Oh no!
So I put some high boots on.
I'd be on the roof.
It was horrible. I was shouting to myself, "Oh my God, this is a nightmare!" But Jim came back like a hero, and he stripped down to his boxer shorts and bare feet and a pair of barbecue tongs and a plastic shoebox, and he caught that snake.
The mind boggles.
I know. Then he went over to the park to release it at midnight, and he never came back for ages. And I thought, he's been arrested.
Are you talking about the snake
The
now,
snake.
your husband?
Well, I said, if a policeman comes across him wearing just boxer shorts and flip-flops,
Oh.
barbecue tongs and a snake in a shoebox in the park at midnight, he's definitely been arrested because he didn't come back for ages.
Dear.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing we're contending with over here. Well, listen, hang on, John. We're going to take one more break. And we're going to talk a little bit more before we wrap up the show. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the queen of rock and roll dogs. And we'll be right back.
It's designerpetsweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit designerpetsweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. designerpetsweaters.com.
Hi, I'm Dana Humphrey, also known as the Pet Lady. I travel from coast to coast to pet trade shows and consumer events to scout out what the hottest, hippest, and most unique pet products are on the planet, bringing you tips and tricks from top veterinarians, groomers, trainers on how to safely travel and live happily with your pets. The Pet Lady will be in a city near you, showing off the latest and greatest tech pet gadgets, cozy comforts, and fab gift ideas for man's and woman's best friend. You can learn more at thepetlady.net or connect socially and tweet with me at PetLadyWorld.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
This is Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Vegas Rock Dog Radio. The phone lines are open at 702-483-4444. Now let's bring back the host. Here is the rock and roll queen of dogs, Sam.
We're back. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Me, Sam, your host, the queen of rock and roll dogs. Jim is in studio with me, and I've got Joan Lockley here on Skype, all the way from England, and she is the founder of the West Midlands Hedgehog Rescue. Are you still there, Joan?
I'm still here.
Super duper. We got 10 minutes left. I have a question for you. I know that you do some educational talks. Do you go into schools as well as speaking to organisations?
Yes, I do. Because I believe it's essential to teach the youngsters to life. Well, all animals.
Yeah, I agree with you because isn't your missions something like, saving today's hedgehogs for tomorrow's generation? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it is important. If you start them really, really young, then they're fully aware of it, and we'll have way more compassionate kids, and then they'll grow into compassionate adults.
Yes.
Because I think I hear this a lot. People growing up and saying, "Yeah, but when we were kids, dogs weren't viewed that way. They were kept outside, and you just gave them scraps and." We've changed a lot, and we're way more educated. We know so much more about nutrition for animals, look back at the hideous dog foods we used to feed pets, and now, how much do we spend a month on pet food? It's insane.
More than we spend on our own food.
It's absolutely true. But it's high quality, no fillers, so if we start young, it's really essential that they learn this stuff, and school's the best place to capture their interest in hedgehogs.
Joan, do you communicate with the people that work to save the foxes in Britain and some of the other great animals that you have there in England that are?
Oh yes. We all know one another. You've got the Bat Society, Deer Society, Badger Society, Rangers. You've got all of these people, even the council. We all know one another, and we all help one another, basically.
That's really great because banding together really makes an impact.
Sure. I was just thinking out loud for Joan as well. We need to get her in touch with our brother-in-law who works for the Forestry Commission.
My brother-in-law, his office is inside.
Oh my gosh,
Sherwood Forest.
They could do seminars and training and have a place for June in the wild to do training sessions as well.
You know, my brother-in-law, his office literally is in the middle of Sherwood Forest. And Jim went and did a bike ride with him there. You thought it was amazing, didn't you, Jim? But yeah, I mean, it all ties in with that because they do tons of educational stuff.
Educational and outreach and family events and educational forums and, family fun in the woods, that great environment for that.
I love nature, Joan. We went when we were back home, we went to the sculpture park back home in Sheffield. And I mean, they've got these amazing pieces of art, amazing, in acres of the countryside. And you've got sheep that are hanging out by. I mean, wasn't it magical, Jim?
And a whole system, the caretakers for the wildlife in the park. And
because I love I love gardening as well, Joan. Oh my gosh.
Yes, me too.
I mean,
me too.
Strangely enough, roses grow very well out here. It's very bizarre, and they flower all year round. So I've got flowering roses right now, and we'll have them all the way through December.
Really?
But gosh, I would so much like my English garden.
You
can't beat it, can you?
No. What do they call it? This green and pleasant land.
It really is. Did you know that Sheffield? Not Sheffield. Yes, England, Sheffield. No, Sheffield is the greenest city in Europe with more trees per person.
Wow.
I just love it. I mean, we went back home and we renewed our wedding vows at the church at Chatsworth House.
Yes.
Oh, my God. I'll send you some pictures, Joe. We went really over the top. I mean, really over the top. But it was just to be out in nature to me. To me, that makes me feel so good. Being in my garden makes me feel great. That's like therapy,
Hadn't he started snoring then, Sam? Was that before he started snoring?
Do you know?
You renewed your vows.
I've kicked him a few times, shoved him in the back, just anything to get him to shut up, But I'm still married to him after 20 years, so I guess I'm putting up with it. So,
Joan, my hedgehog spines are up on the back of my neck now. After that, I'm watching out for you.
Hey, I tell you what would stop him snoring, Sam.
Would be what?
Try a tourniquet around the neck.
I'm watching out. Now I am coming to visit you when I come out there.
Jim. Sorry, I didn't mean it.
Joan, oh my God, why do we not live in the same place? We would hang out all the time, Joan. We would. I can't wait to come and see you. And we are going to...
I can't wait to meet you.
We are definitely coming to see you. I'm hoping we get out there, at least I will, probably in March. I have a nephew who's in theatre, so he's got a really big part up in Sheffield. So I'm trying to make that happen, and I will come and see you. I'll tell you that right now.
I'd love to meet you. I really would.
We'll go to the pub for a shandy.
Gosh, a shandy, is that all?
I used to drink a lot when we worked on cruise ships, but I think I kind of wore myself out on alcohol. But I do love a shandy. I do love a snowball. Hardcore.
Well, I've got a reputation for Lambrini. And everybody all over the country pulls my leg about Lambrini.
I love that.
One man came with me to the vets with a hedgehog, a sick hedgehog, and he walked to the vet and he says, "You do know that she has Lambrini on her cornflakes."
That's brilliant.
And I said, "I don't eat cornflakes."
Just the Lambrini. You know what? Someone needs to come out with a hedgehog wine. That's what I'm thinking. With a cute hedgehog on the front, and it can be Lambrini, and it has a cute name. And I think someone listening, please help Joan raise money through some hedgehog wine. I think that would be brilliant. Well, we've got a couple of minutes left. Jim, what's the website again? Since I asked you earlier, and my brain just forgot.
It is WMHR. Oh, wait a second. WMHR.org.uk. WMHR.org.uk.
And you can go to Facebook.
And it's a great website. It's full of information.
It really is.
Very nice and reads lovely.
A friend of mine built that for me.
It's really good.
I haven't seen it since last Christmas. I haven't had a chance.
It's really good. It's completely up to date, which is really important. It's so helpful. It's easy to reach out to you, and it's really positive, and I like that more than anything. It's just,
Good.
it was nice to get on the website and read it. Some websites are boring, but that was a really good website. I love the Facebook page. There's always some great details up there. I love that they highlight you so much. I think it's great. And your pictures with those hedgehogs is adorable, beyond adorable. Now, I know that I've got like a minute left, 2 minutes left. I know you've got a fundraiser coming up, and I'm going to share that on our Facebook page because, and you've got an Amazon wish list that people can go onto and shop and help you. So I'm going to make sure we share these things. I'm going to say a big thank you to you, Joan, because this has been a delight. You're the only hedgehog person we've ever had, and you're going to be our expert from now on, because we will definitely have you on this show again.
Thank you, Sam and Jim.
It's been absolutely wonderful. If you're listening, everybody, make sure you visit Joan's page, Friends of the West Midlands Hedgehog Rescue. Donate. They need tons of stuff. There's a list on their website, tell you exactly what they're looking for. And I'm going to close the show by saying, remember, you can help an animal in need. Either rescue, adopt, donate, volunteer, or share your time and their information. Rescue your next family member, replace the word shop with adopt, and be kind to all animals. I want to thank Joan for being, to me, one of my favourite guests of all time. Absolutely. Thank you, Mike, for running the show. Thank you, Jim, for not snoring through the show. That's a wonderful thing. And today, you've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio, where it's all about pets, people, pop culture, and hedgehogs today. And I'm your host, Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs. And remember, always kiss your pets. Good morning, good night, and have a great weekend. We will see you soon, Joan. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Joan.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.